Howdy folks, it's Not Jay with Not Jay's Tabletop Gaming, and this video brings us into the Mediterranean where we take a look at the Italian Navy, in this case the heavy cruiser Pola, a Zara class cruiser that served up until her demise at the Battle of Cape Matapan. So hop on board and let's take a look. Here we have the Italian heavy cruiser Pola, named after the city of Pola, which is now in Croatia and pronounced Pula. She was a Zara class heavy cruiser of the Italian Navy. She was laid down in March of 1931 and launched in December of 1931, so a pretty quick build. She was commissioned just over a year later in December of 1932. She was eventually sunk during the war in March of 1941 during Battle of Cape Matapan. Now, some specifics about her. She had a full load of just over 14,000 tons. She came in at just under 600 feet, just over 67 feet wide for the beam, and carried a draft of just under 24 feet. She did have 8 boilers that would be able to provide 95,000 horsepower to 2 steam turbines, which could propel her at up to 32 knots. She did have a range of 5,361 nautical miles when she cruised at a speed of 16 knots. Her complement was 841 officers and men, and her armament was 8 8-inch guns, 16 4-inch guns, 4 40mm guns, and 8 50 caliber machine guns. Her armor comes in at about 2.8 inches on the deck, almost 6 inches at the belt. The turret faces had about 6 inches of armor, as did the barbets. She did carry 2 aircraft. What's interesting is that instead of in the middle of the ship or on the aft of the ship, the Italian cruisers of the Zara class, and some of the others in fact, had the catapults for their aircraft coming off the bow. So I always thought that was rather interesting. And then of course you'll note later on as I paint them, the red and white stripes on the foredeck of the ship was used as recognition, so they wouldn't be attacked by their own air force. So I thought that was rather interesting. She was built as a flagship and was a host to Benito Mussolini several times, as well as Adolf Hitler once, through her early years from 1932 up through 1940. She spent a lot of time in the Mediterranean, going back and forth from Italy to off the coast of Spain to off the coast of Africa. A non-intervention patrol off of the coast of Spain, just kind of making sure no Italian vessels got caught up in the Spanish Civil War. Now, her final engagement, of course, was the Battle of Cape Matapan. She was with her squadron, but for the most part was kept on the non-engaged side of the fleet. She did take one torpedo amidships, which immediately knocked out her engine room, resulting in her not being able to move, not able to rotate her turrets. She was effectively dead in the water. By the night of March 28th, she and her squadron came under fire from the battleships Valiant, Warspite, and Barham, and her sister ships were pretty much just taken off the map. The Fiume and Zara, and then 2 destroyers were just taken out at point blank range. She ended up being sunk by the destroyer HMS Nubian when they fired a torpedo into Pola. and ultimately sank when the ship's magazine exploded in the morning of March 29th. Total 328 men went down with the ship, and she was not officially stricken from the Italian Navy Register until October of 1946. So I thought that was pretty interesting also. All in all, a fun ship to paint. As you can see here, I was getting those red and white stripes on there. Very striking, very, very nice looking, I think. And freehanding them isn't exactly easy, but I think it ended up pretty decent all in all. It's a good model. I enjoyed working with it. This Friday I'm going to have one more ship painting video, and then going into the new year I think I'm going to shift some things up, and we're going to go forward into history to the Cold War era and shift over to board gaming, where I start talking about World War 85. We're going to take a couple of weeks and look at that game as we wait patiently for the new Kickstarter coming from Lock and Load Publishing. So I've got lots of them. I think I'll definitely be coming back to these ships. Definitely going to be seeing more of these. You know, all of the starter fleet sets. I've got the starter box. I've got some of the individual ships. I hope y'all enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed the videos and a little bit of history that I give with each one. It's sometimes it's difficult to get everything to match up just right with, you know, painting and then doing the voiceover afterward, but it turns out pretty good, I think. Let me know if there's anything in particular that you'd like to see, whether it's more of these ships or something else, going back to Star Wars, or, you know, branching out into some of the other stuff that I do. Just let me know in the comments below, and until next time, we'll see you on the flip side.